Hi everyone! Good evening po sa inyong lahat. Welcome po sa isa na namang webinar na hatid sa inyo namin dito lamang sa Pinoy Visas and Said. Again, maraming salamat po for your continued support sa Pinoy Visas and Said and sa Working in Visas. So before we start po, gusto natin of course mag-shout out kay Rodnel Aracha. Good day everyone watching from the Philippines. Hello po. Meron naman tayo from Axelito Book watching from Qatar. Meron tayo kay Venus Imana, watching siya from Baguio City. Napakarami pa nating mga viewers ngayon. So here, si Villy Fiesta Toribio, watching daw po siya from Taiwan. Krutseka, watching from Auckland. Thank you so much po. Joy is watching from Hong Kong. Maraming salamat. And nakikita ko dito sa ating report, ito din si Merlon B. Alim from Saudi Arabia. Nakita ko din sa ating statistics ngayon na meron mga viewers from United Kingdom, sa Australia. Hello po sa mga taga Singapore natin dyan na mga kababayan. Yes, si Elizer naman watching from the Philippines, si King sa Davao. Napakasarap ng mango dyan. So, thank you so much po sa inyong continued support and sa inyo, nasaan man kayo dyan sa Pilipinas or around the world, dito man kayo sa New Zealand o kahit saan man, again, welcome po sa webinar na ito. Ako po si Don, Licensed Immigration Advisor, and tonight, we will talk about visitor visas. So sa webinar na po ito, we are providing you with general information only. Hindi po ito dapat i-consider as a replacement for legal advice, and as always, if you need specific or tailored advice po, please get in touch sa amin dito sa Pinoy Visas and Said or sa Working in Visas para ma-advise namin kayo individually. Now, simulan na natin ang ating webinar tonight. So, ano-ano nga ba ang mga kailangan yung malaman tungkol sa visitor visa? So first, we will discuss general requirements, visiting family and friends, ano yung mga kailangan yung malaman, and maaari ba mag-study sa visitor visa? Maaari ba mag-attend ng job interview holding a visitor visa? And of course, paano namin kayo matutulungan? Now, ang daming mga tanong about visitor visa. So if we have time po mamaya, we will try to answer them. Now, simulan na natin ngayon, ano? So, what is a visitor visa? So ito, I think, yung dapat muna nating malaman ngayon. So, visitor visa, so this visa lets you come to and stay in New Zealand po as a visitor for a limited amount of time. So, holding a visitor visa, it allows you to, one, visit as a tourist, visit friends or relatives, play sport or perform in cultural events without pay, or enter New Zealand to get married, undertake short-term study. So ang visitor visa po, it will allow you to study one or more courses for up to a total of 3 months po. And each of the 12-month periods, your visa is valid. So a reminder po, ang visitor visa, it doesn't allow you to work in New Zealand. Hindi po ito work visa. But there are some special visitor categories that will allow po yung mga visitors to enter New Zealand for particular purposes. So mamaya po, i-discuss natin yan ngayon. Again, visitor visa does not allow you to work in New Zealand po. If you want to work dito sa New Zealand, kailangan nyo mag-apply ng work visa na applicable sa inyo. Now, pag-usapan naman natin ang mga general requirements. So ano-ano nga ba yung mga general requirements na dapat nyo malaman para lamang sa visitor visa? So first, genuine intentions. You must be genuinely ano yung intention mo talaga to visit New Zealand. So, ang INSED po, pag nagde-decide ng inyong application, titignan nila if kayo po ay genuine visitor, kung kayo po ay bona fides, kung papasa kayo dito, they will consider all the information na ibibigay nyo sa application nyo. Ano nga ba yung mga documents na kailangan yung i-provide? So, titignan to ng Immigration New Zealand to support your application. Ano yung mga personal circumstances mo, and ano naman yung mga information regarding sa inyong previous application. Now, if you are coming to New Zealand po to take up an employment, you should apply for a work visa instead. If you're coming to New Zealand for a special purpose, such as work requirement, not work but a work requirement, or as a partner or family member, kailangan niyo po i-consider ang tinatawag na special visitor category. So if you want to conduct business naman po sa New Zealand, then you can apply for a business visitor visa. So napakaraming categories po ang visitor visa. Hindi lang po ito yung common na general visitor visa, dependent child visitor visa, marami po pong ibang categories. So ang advice po natin is that use a licensed immigration advisor sa Pinoy Visas NZ or working in visas para i-navigate natin ang mga visitor visa requirements depende sa category na applicable sa inyo. Now, ano-ano nga ba ang mga evidence that you are a genuine visitor? So first, i-explain natin sa inyo na ang mga evidence na ipoprovide nyo will help INZ to confirm that you are a genuine visitor. If hindi po kayo magpo-provide ng evidence, ang pag-process po ng inyong visa application or visitor visa application may take longer. So it is very important for you to be guided by a licensed immigration advisor, by Pinoy Visas NZ or working in visas regarding sa documents na required para i-meet nyo yung genuine intentions na tinatawag. So again, ito po ay tinatawag na bona fide. It's a requirement po sa inyo, actually in all visa application. So specifically for visitor visa, dapat po mas satisfy ang Immigration New Zealand na you have genuine reasons to come to New Zealand po na while holding a visitor visa, and also you will obey New Zealand law. So paano nyo nga ba to mapoprove? So dapat i-prove natin na ang intention nyo sa New Zealand is to stay here temporarily. You are coming to New Zealand for a lawful purpose. You will comply with the conditions of your visa after you arrive po dito. You will not overstay in New Zealand without a valid visa, and you will be able to leave New Zealand po at the end of your stay. So iba-iba pong category, iba-ibang intention, iba-ibang genuine intention, obviously iba-ibang documents silang required para ma-prove nyo sa Immigration New Zealand that you are a genuine tourist. For example po, if you plan to visit family or friends dito sa New Zealand, now, ano yung mga documents na kailangan nyong ibigay? For example, obviously their information, ano yung mga pangalan nila, ano yung relationship mo sa kanila, ano yung address, contact numbers nila sa New Zealand, and ano yung kanilang New Zealand visa or citizenship status. Now, for example po, if you plan to undertake study na less than 3 months, then maaaring magbigay kayo ng letter from a New Zealand education provider na magsa-study kayo na less than 3 months, and obviously evidence na nabayaran niyo na po yung tuition fees. So, ano pa nga ba? For example, if you want to visit Queenstown, if you want to visit Nelson or Invercargill, so ano yung mga evidence na gusto mo lang mag-holiday dito sa New Zealand? So first, it could be plane tickets, itinerary, bookings po ng inyong accommodation or hotel, mga rentals niyo sa cars, transportation, mga arrangement niyo dyan, and other activities po na relevant doon sa holiday niyo. Now, another thing naman po na kailangan nyo i-prove para ma-prove nyo ang genuine intention is that yung inyong personal and home country circumstances. Now, yung evidence po na kasama dito is that yung mga work or living arrangement po, ito yung makakatulong sa akin said that you are likely to return to your home country po at the end of your visit dito sa New Zealand. Again, depende po ito sa inyong circumstance. So, mas maganda po na mag-guidean kayo ng licensed immigration advisor dito sa Pinoy Visas and Sit and Working In. So, ito po ay generic na documents lamang. For example, paano mo mapuprove na meron kang trabaho sa Pilipinas or dun sa home country mo? Now, you can provide a letter from your employer approving your leave and confirming na may babalikan kang trabaho. Another thing naman dito is that showing that, for example, nag-enrolled ka sa school, sa college, that you're enrolled for study. Ano ba yung pwede natin ibigay doon? Like letter from the school, from the university, or in yung student ID card. Pwede din yun. Now, for example naman po, meron kang family ties sa Pilipinas. Ikaw yung nag-aalaga sa parents mo or may inaalagaan kang pamangkin or anak. Now, a letter, pwede kayo mag-provide ng letter explaining your family ties. Ano yung obligation niyo sa family niyo. Meron kayong family business, pwede nang ibigay yon. Now, for example naman po sa ating mga parents and grandparents, for example, wala silang work, hindi na sila nag-aral, obviously because they're already retired. Now, they could provide evidence of, certificate po ng retirement or evidence na nakaka-receive na siya ng pension. So, again, those are just yung mga bonus namin sa inyo kung ano yung mga available na documents na pwede nyo i-provide. But if, again, mas maganda na matutukan kayo ng inyong advisor, dito sa Pinoy Visas NZ and sa Working in Visas para mas tailored or personal yung inyong visa application as well as yung mga evidence na kailangan nyo ibigay. Now, ano naman po yung inyong tinatawag na personal circumstance? Now, Kapag ina-assess po ng Immigration New Zealand ang inyong application, tini-take into consider po nila ang inyong personal circumstance. Ano-ano nga ba 'to? First, any ties, like family ties na meron ka sa iyong home country or dito sa New Zealand. Ano-ano po yung inyong mga personal, financial, work, or other commitments sa inyong home country, Pilipinas for example, or dito sa New Zealand. Or ano-ano naman po yung mga circumstances na maaring ayaw mo na bumalik sa home country. Ayaw mo na bumalik sa Pilipinas. So, iko-consider po yan ng Immigration New Zealand. Right. So, I'll just quickly display the PowerPoint. Yeah, there you go. So, para makita nyo po. Yeah. So, yan po yung mga titignan ng Immigration New Zealand about your personal and home country circumstances. Now, next slide natin dito is that yung travel history, if meron kayo. Now, if you live in other country po or another country that is not your country of citizenship, you will need to provide a copy of your visa that entitles you to live in that country po. Now, if for example, meron kayong mga previous declined application from New Zealand or from any other countries po, kailangan nyo pa rin yan i-provide. Mas maganda po na maging honest kayo sa Immigration New Zealand kesa po yung um, mag, uh, mag-cover po kayo ng any or mag-withhold ng any material information. So ano nga ba yung mga pwede niyong ibigay na about doon sa declined visa application niyo, if you have any? So first, a copy of the letter from that country's immigration authority na nagsasabing na decline yung application niyo, or if meron kayong o kung wala naman yung letter na yon, now you can also explain that po sa application nyo sa Vistor Visa and bakit hindi ito naging successful. Again, mas maganda po na maging honest tayo sa Immigration New Zealand. So another thing naman po na kailangan yung i-provide is that yung funds or sponsorship. Now, you must have enough money to live in or to live on while you are in New Zealand, or dapat po meron kayo acceptable na sponsor. Now, to show that you have sufficient funds, you must have at least 1,000 New Zealand dollars per month or 400 New Zealand dollars per month if paid naman po yung inyong accommodation. Now, paano nyo ito ma-prove sa Immigration New Zealand? So first, pwede po kayo mag-provide ng accommodation of proof of accommodation po na nabayaran nyo na ito. For example, hotel bookings, mga resibo, or i-explain po na yung sa kaibigan po kayo or sa family member kayo dito tutuloy sa New Zealand. You can also give like evidence such as bank statements na nag-show na meron kayong sufficient funds based doon sa minention ko earlier. Credit card statements, bank drafts kung meron kayo, kung may mga cheque po kayo, that's fine. Or if you are sponsored po, dapat kailangan complete sila ng tinatawag na sponsorship form for temporary entry. Now, if you are sponsored po, again, dapat magbigay din sila ng evidence that they can look after you dito po sa New Zealand. So ano nga ba yung mga evidence na to? First, recent bank statements, payslips, employment agreement nila dito sa New Zealand, accommodation, kung may-ari sila ng bahay or nagre-rent sila, that's fine. And i-explain doon na dun kayo titira. So, sino-sino po yung mga tinatawag na acceptable sponsor? So, they could be a New Zealand citizen po or a resident visa holder, could be a New Zealand organization or a business, or could be a New Zealand government agency. So, yan po yung mga iba-ibang sponsors na accepted ng Immigration New Zealand. Now, because this is a visa application po, you also need to consider good health and good character. So kailangan po i-prove sa Immigration New Zealand that you are in good health and you are in good character. Now, marami pong nagtatanong sa atin, if you will stay in New Zealand for less than 12 months, kailangan ko ba ng medical certificate? Kailangan ko ba ng chest x-ray certificate? So yan po yung common na mga tanong na nakikita ko ngayon dito sa chat. Now, I will answer this po ngayon. I-clarify natin. So, medical certificate po, if you will stay in New Zealand for less than 12 months, you normally do not need to have a medical examination unless the visa you will apply for it po will allow you to stay for more than 12 months. So for example po, if ang intention nyo dito is to live for more than 12 months, then you may be required for a medical certificate. Now, how about chest x-ray naman po? If you will stay in New Zealand po na less than 6 months, then normally hindi niyo po kailangan ng chest X-ray unless INFED ask you to provide one. So, again, depende ito sa intention niyo, depende sa length of stay na gusto niyo dito sa New Zealand. So, kami po dito sa Pinoy Visas and Said, we give you a tailored document checklist, tailored advice, depende po sa inyong circumstances, depende sa inyong personal circumstances, depende sa intention niyo, dun po tayo mag-a-advise if kailangan niyo ng medicals o hindi. Now, how about good character po? So again, you always need to prove sa Immigration New Zealand na meron kayong good character. So kailangan natin i-demonstrate pa rin yun. Now, if you have a criminal history po sa Pilipinas, sa ibang country, or you could be at risk dito sa New Zealand, maaari pong ma-decline ang application nyo. But again, it depends. Now, when you apply, you must tell Immigration New Zealand po about your current issues or activities na maaaring maka-apekto po sa assessment ng inyong character sa visa application nyo. So, mas maganda po again na maging honest tayo. So, if you're staying less than 24 months, normally po hindi po required ang police certificate. But again, depende sa inyong intention, depende sa inyong stay. Magbibigay po kami ng tailored advice sa inyo based on that. Now, eto po, maraming ano po dito, interested na malaman, no? Gusto ko pong bisitahin ang family and friends ko dito sa New Zealand. Now, napakarami pong visitor visa categories na maaari yung applyan. Depende again ito sa inyong intention, depende sa again, kung meron kayong sponsor, depende sa intention niyo, sa genuine intention niyo po. For example, dependent children, gusto nyo, kunyari po may mga anak kayo na gusto lang mag-visit dito sa New Zealand. Now, they can apply for dependent child visitor visa. Now, again, depende ito sa age ng mga bata, depende ito sa intention ng mga bata or kung ano yung gagawin nila dito. Now, may mga iba pong tinatawag na additional na requirements about sa dependent children. So, mas maganda po na talagang magabayan kayo ng inyong licensed immigration advisor. For example po, if your child is traveling alone or with one parent lang po, maaring humingi ang Immigration New Zealand ng evidence that the child has the right to leave their country of residence. For example po, mga custody papers or guardianship papers. So, it is important po na gumamit kayo ng licensed immigration advisor. Talk to your LIA po dito sa Pinoy Visas and SED and sa Working in Visas para mas magabayan kayo kung ano pa yung mga requirements sa pagdala dito ng inyong mga anak through visitor visa. Now, another thing naman po is pwede din mag-travel as a group, yung inyong family. If yung family members niyo po, like for example, parents, kasama yung mga pamangkin, kasama yung mga tito, tita, or friend, if they are traveling in a group, and yung group na po yun is traveling for the same purpose, and they have the same travel arrangement, then pwede po sila mag-apply ng group visitor visa. Dapat po yung group na yun is may tinatawag na leader who will take charge of the visa and arrival formalities. So again, that's another category po ng visitor visa. Ito po, marami tayong nare-receive na inquiries dito. So, paano naman po yung parents and grandparents? So, ito po, may tinatawag na multiple entry visitor visa for parents and grandparents of New Zealand citizens or resident visa holder. Now, sino po yung tinatawag na New Zealand sponsor or New Zealand resident or citizen? So, dapat po, yung New Zealand sponsor nyo is yung anak nyo or grandchild age 17 years or old or older, or yung dapat po parent siya ng New Zealand parent po siya ng inyong anak or grandchild or apo. Now, ito po because may involvement po yung family, kailangan po obviously mag-provide ng evidence of your family relationship with your sponsor. So again, ang inyong pong New Zealand sponsor must be your child or grandchild age 17 years old or older, or the New Zealand parent of your child or grandchild. Again, kailangan po ng evidence to prove your family relationships. Now, again, this is a multiple entry visitor visa. If the application po is approved, you will be granted a 3-year multiple entry visitor visa. So authorizing a visa for a visit of 6 months from your date of arrival. So you will not be able to extend this visa. However, you will be able to enter and leave New Zealand during the validity of your visa po, as long as you do not remain in New Zealand for more than 18 months during the validity of that visa. So may ibang condition po ito. But again, it could be granted for more than 18 months. So yun po yung kagandahan dito. It would be a multiple entry visitor visa para lamang sa inyong parents and grandparents if you are a New Zealand citizen or resident visa holder. Now, kung meron naman po kayong dependent child and you are holding a New Zealand work visa or student visa, you can apply for a visitor visa naman po for your dependent child na pwede nyo makasama dito sa New Zealand for the same amount of time bilang kayo po ay parent niya. So again, ibang requirements dito, you need to prove your relationship with your children and your children naman po dapat maging i-prove niya na talagang dependent siya sa inyo. Now, ano pa nga ba yung iba? Marami pa po actually, no? So for example, partners of New Zealand citizen and resident visa holder or yung mga AEWV workers natin or student visa holders. So pwede din po sila mag-apply ng visitor visa para sa kanilang partner para i-visit sila dito sa New Zealand. So again, ito po ay ilang categories lamang ng visitor visa. Napakaraming categories po and we will help you to navigate these visitor visa categories. Again, it depends on your intention, it depends on your circumstances, family ties, kung ano-ano po pong kailangan i-prove for you to demonstrate that you are a genuine visitor. So, mas maganda po na matutukan po kayo ng aming licensed immigration advisor para lamang po maging tama inyong visa application, stress-free, and maging decision-ready ang visa application nyo. So, some reminders po. Um, Ang visitor visa po, it allows you to study one or more courses for up to a total of 3 months in each of the 12-month periods of your visa validity. Now, para naman po sa mga school-aged visitor visa holders, they can attend primary, intermediate, or secondary school for a single period of study for up to 3 months per calendar year, provided po na yung kanilang pag-aaral ay matatapos within that calendar year. So, hindi po permitted ang mga visitor visa holders to study in term one of a school year. And dapat po, if you are really intending to study here sa New Zealand for longer than 3 months, you will need to apply for a student visa suitable po sa inyong personal circumstances. So you can study visitor visa for up to 3 months, pero if your intention po talaga is to study for longer than 3 months, maaring kailangan nyo po talaga mag-apply ng student visa, depende po sa eligibility nyo. Now, you can also attend a job interview. Yes, you can attend a job interview po holding a visitor visa, but it is important to note po na before you undertake work, you need to apply for a relevant work visa. So again, holding a visitor visa, hindi naman po pinagbabawal na mag-attend kayo ng job interview. You can still attend a job interview holding a visitor visa, but bago ka po makapagtrabaho, before you can undertake work, you need to have an approved work visa, a relevant work visa po. Now, speaking of jobs or job interviews, ano-ano nga ba yung mga available na mga trabaho na pwede namin matulungan namin kayo, ano? So first, we're looking for kitchen cabinet installer. Second, excavator operator po. Baka kayo po or may mga kakilala kayo na excavator operator, mga rigger, scaffolder, and driver. So if kayo po or yung mga kakilala niyo po, especially doon na outside the Philippines, maaari po sila mag-send ng CV, must be in Microsoft Word format, to rowena.dulnuan@workingin.com. Again, if you know someone po outside the Philippines na naghahanap ng trabaho about kitchen cabinet installer, excavator operator, rigger, scaffolder, driver, outside the Philippines po, send your CV in Microsoft Word format sa rowena.tulnuan@workingin.com. So, tutulungan po namin kayo na ma-place dito ng trabaho sa New Zealand. And obviously, yung interview po, it would be online interview. And then we will process your relevant work visa application po. Kapag nabigyan na po kayo ng job offer, we will, proceed from there po. Pag meron na kayong job offer, kami po ang mag-ayos ng work visa application nyo papunta dito sa New Zealand. Again, if you know someone na outside the Philippines po, na kitchen cabinet installer, excavator operator po, rigger, scaffolder, driver, send your CVs po sa rowena.tuluan@workingin.com. So, good news po ito, no? Because ang mga drivers natin, meron po tayong in-announce ang Immigration Minister na special or limited residence pathway. So, napakagandang opportunity po ito. If you're a driver outside the Philippines po, if you know someone, please apply na para at least matulungan namin kayo sa inyong job placement or job offer from a New Zealand accredited employer, and kami na rin po bahala ng inyong accredited employer work visa. Now, going back naman po sa ating topic na Vistor Visa, paano po namin kayo matutulungan makapag-apply ng inyong visitor visa? Again, as discussed earlier, depende po ito sa intention nyo. Depende ito sa inyong circumstances. Kung ano yung gusto nyo talagang pumunta dito sa New Zealand, for what reason. So again, kami po dito sa Pinoy Visas NZ and Working in Visas, nagbibigay po kami ng assessment and pag-advise. Yung advice po natin is coming from a team of licensed immigration advisor po. We have 25 licensed immigration advisors and huge Filipino team po dito sa Pinoy Visas and said para i-explain sa'yo kung paano mo mamimit ang immigration instructions or criteria depende sa visa na ina-applyan nyo po. For example, visitor visa. Magbibigay din po kami ng personalized document checklist para sa inyong visa application. Depende po sa inyong intention and circumstances. Kami rin po ang nagpe-prepare ng inyong visa application. We lodge your visa application on your behalf sa Immigration New Zealand. We respond to their inquiries. If they have questions po, kami po ang nagre-respond on your behalf because kami po ang nagre-represent sa inyo. Included din po sa aming services ang pag-send ng regular updates ng inyong application. So again, kami din po ang nagko-communicate bilang inyong advisor or representative sa inyong case officer kung sila naman po ay may kailangan na dagdag na information, depende po sa inyong application. And obviously, pag-explain sa inyo ng visa decision and outcome. So kasama po yan sa aming services. So again, kami po dito sa Pinoy Visas and Working in Visas, binubuo po kami ng malaking team ng licensed immigration advisors and Filipino team po na handang tumulong sa inyo. Now, contact us now po. So, pumunta po lamang kayo dito sa aming website, which is pinoyvisas.co.nz/visa-contact-us. Or pwede din po kaya mag-drop ng message sa facebook.com/pinoyvisas-newzealand or send us an email sa hello@pinoyvisas.co.nz. So again, if you have questions po, kung gusto niyo magpa-book ng initial consultation, free phone consultation po, kung gusto niyo pumunta sa aming office, why not? You're welcome to do so. So basta po magpa-schedule kayo or magpa-appoint lamang by contacting us dito lamang sa mga contact information na naka-flash po sa inyong screen. So if you think po na gusto nyong mag-visit dito sa New Zealand or may relatives kayo na gustong mag-visit dito sa New Zealand, please i-share lamang tong webinar, itag ang inyong mga friends dito, and para at least they are aware and makita nila na ano nga ba yung mga general information, ano yung mga kailangan nilang malaman po para makapag-visit sila dito sa New Zealand. Depende sa kanilang intention. Again, napakaraming categories ng visitor visa. Depende yon. Kami po ang mag-a-advise sa inyo para lamang maging swak and then ma-fit yung inyong purpose doon sa visitor visa na inyong a-applyan. So before we go po, let's have a quick look sa ating chat. Mag-shoutout po tayo ngayon sa ating mga solid viewers. So first, Nasim. Hi Nasim. Good evening. Jefferson, good evening po. James, sabi niya, Sir, mobile crane operator po wala. Keep us, mag-like lang po kayo, i-share itong page na ito, and then if meron po kaming available jobs for that, magpo-post po kami, and then nag-host din po kami ng regular webinars about sa job. Junar, hi. Thank you so much po. Roxanne, hello. Nanonood siya. Sabi naman dito ni Ormonson, ang parents po ba ang mag-a-apply ng visa or ang anak? Well, if kami po ang nagre-represent ng inyong visa application or ng visa application ng inyong parent, kami po ang mag-a-apply on your behalf. So, mas easier na po yun sa inyo. So, contact us po, Ormonson. If you want to bring your parents dito sa New Zealand, we need to talk, or your individual circumstances. Ano nga ba yung visitor visa na mas maganda for your parents? And then kami po ang nagla-lodge nito sa Immigration New Zealand on your behalf. Randy, sabi niya dito, thank you so much po sa lahat ng staff ng Pinoy Visas and said, my work visa was approved smoothly and fast, hoping my family to bring in New Zealand soon. Yes, Randy, thank you so much din po. Maraming salamat for your continued trust sa Pinoy Visas and said, yes, soon yung family mo naman ang dadalhin natin dito. So, hopefully, no, depende kung anong intention mo. Gusto mo ba ng work visa para sa partner mo? So, depende ito. Gusto mo lang ba ng visitor visa for your partner? So, again, depende to. So, definitely, welcome kami na um, tumulong sa inyo. Sabi naman dito ni Jojo, pwede na ba mag-apply ng visa? Obviously, pwede kang mag-apply ng visa but it depends kung ano yung gusto mong mangyari dito sa New Zealand. Gusto mo ba mag-visit? Gusto mo mag-work? So again, depende ito. But you are welcome to apply a visa as long as you are eligible. Kaya mas maganda po na matutukan namin kayo ng aming mga licensed immigration advisor dito sa Pinoy Visas and said and sa working in visas. Enrique Legalarte, mega love, shout out. Oh, we love you too. Thank you, Enrique. For that, watching from Saudi, hello. Sabi niya naman dito, thank you daw po. Sabi ni Beltran, oh Beltran, hi! Congratulations, resident ka na, congratulations. And I know your family din, no? So thank you din. And yes, si Beltran po, talagang from the beginning, from his visa sa Pilipinas, renewal niya dito sa New Zealand, hanggang naging eligible na siya to apply for resident and bring his family po. Kami yung nag-assist sa kanya. So Beltran, good to see you po. Um, Sir, yung visitor visa po ba ay nadi-decline din? Salamat po. So, again, mas maganda po na yung visitor visa nyo is nakaka-receive kayo ng tailored advice na dapat yung application na sinusubmit nyo is decision ready, which means likely na magkakaroon ng positive outcome yung inyong visa application. So, if you want us po na mag-assist ng inyong visitor visa application para ma-meet nyo yung genuine intention na criteria, please contact us po para at least matutukan namin kayo. Now, marami pa dito. Ayun, Edison, shout out. Maraming salamat po. Yes, so napakarami pang questions dito. Michael, hello, and everyone watching here. So again, ang dami pong questions. However, overtime na po tayo ng 2 minutes. But again, thank you so much po sa inyong continued support sa Pinoy Visas and SAD and sa Working in Visas. Of course, gusto ko din po magpasalamat kay Theo and kay Patrick from our digital and marketing team for making this webinar up and running smoothly behind the camera. Maraming salamat po. And of course, maraming salamat to everyone. Thank you once again for your warm support. Thank you again and maraming salamat. Until next time po, have a good night.